If you're a gamer and you've never heard of Super Mario, then you're just not a gamer. Because really, you shouldn't even have to be a gamer to know who he is. As the character that's more recognized than Mickey Mouse, Mario did for video games what Jackie Robinson did for baseball. In a time when video game was a bad word, Mario turned the tide, and against all odds, he came out successful in the end. And since 1985, there was always a defining Mario platformer on every Nintendo console. On the NES, it was the original Super Mario Bros. On the SNES, it was Super Mario World. On the Nintendo 64, it was Super Mario 64. And on the GameCube, it was Super Mario Sunshine. In almost every Mario platformer, there's always some type of innovation, something that sets it apart from other Mario games. And with Super Mario Sunshine, that innovation is a backpack filled with water. This backpack can be used as a jetpack, a rocket boost, and a turbojet to increase running speed. So why does Mario have this contraption? Well, let's start with a story. Mario, Peach, and friends have traveled to a sunny tropical island called Isle Delfino, because every video game character needs a vacation. But upon arrival, Mario finds a mess to clean up and grabs a nearby water pack called Flood. But after cleaning it up, Mario is locked in a cell under the charges of polluting the beautiful island. Little do they know that the real person who's been trashing the place is a Mario lookalike with a giant paintbrush. So Mario is eventually released under the condition that he must clean up the entire island. Now the main attraction is the island's Shine Gate, which boasts a giant structure that provides the island with light. But when the Mario lookalike wrecked the gate, all the shines were lost, and instead of getting stars at the end of each level, you get shines, which practically look the same anyway. Although a water pack just doesn't sound like it should be in a Mario game. But Nintendo has really made it work, and instead of the mechanic being an add-on that you might need to use sometimes, it becomes so much more than that, and even adds a whole new layer of depth to the platforming. In the beginning, you only have the ability to shoot water, or use it as a hovering device, but later on you'll get the rocket and the turbo nozzles, which can be really helpful and fun to use. Another thing that doesn't really sound like it should be in a Mario game is the environments themselves, and while they may not be as varied as, say, Super Mario 64, the beaches, villages, and docks won't bore you too much, and for a tropical island setting, it's about as varied as you can get. But the thing that keeps the experience fresh from beginning to end is that it's almost like there's always a new element of gameplay introduced in every area of the game. And in each area, there's always a handful of missions to own your skills at that new element. For one area, there's ropes going from building to building, and when you jump on them, Mario acts like a tightrope walker, and you can even bounce on them to reach other areas. And in another area, there's slabs of metal gate you'll have to climb through, and the list goes on. Also, to prove that Nintendo hasn't completely forgotten about the traditional Mario we all know and love, there's special stages you'll find that take away your water jetpack, and you're forced to do some traditional platforming. There's also little missions you can complete in the town square that'll sometimes give you shines and sometimes give you coins. So while the gameplay may not be traditional Mario all the time, it's still just as good, especially with the addition of the water pack. The controls are even better, but that shouldn't really come as a surprise because the control in a Mario game is always very tight. The jumping is responsive and the water pack is easy to use. Another thing is that Mario runs a little faster than usual here, but all it really does is just speed up the game a little. With the handling here, you always feel like you're in control, and it's hard to blame the game when you accidentally fall into a pool of goop. The music isn't bad, and again, while it may not be traditional Mario music, it's still great to listen to. The sounds, though, range from good to mediocre. Mario sounds great, as well as the water from the backpack, but voiceovers are used in all of the cutscenes, and I really wish they could have stuck with some written text. But thankfully, the bad voice work there doesn't really hurt the game overall, and cutscenes are far and few between. The graphics are very colorful, and the art style is really unique. The game also always runs at 30 frames per second, and the water effects are just stunning. But there will be some bad-looking textures, and the camera angles will also get in your way sometimes. But with Super Mario Sunshine, the good definitely outweighs the bad by a ton, and if you try to ignore the weak storyline, bad character design, and awkward voiceovers, then this is a perfect GameCube title. As always with a Mario game, the fun factor is the main focus, and anyone looking for a lasting adventure is in for a treat. Super Mario Sunshine receives 9 out of 10 Shine Sprites.